You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 2nd meeting for the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. Call to order this Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for Tuesday, September 2nd. The time is 8:30 a.m. I'll call the roll. Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Miss Tisdale.
Present.
Miss Smith.
Present.
Miss Moore.
Present.
Chairs. Mr. York is present. Attorney LePage.
Here.
We have a quorum. First order of business today is approval of minutes from our regular hybrid meeting on August 18th, 2025. Has everyone had time to review those? Are there any additions or edits to that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. First order of business, our next order of business is a Singing Sands Trail property acquisition. The Michigan City Parks Department is requesting to purchase parcel 4 from Lucas Polka for the Singing Sands Trail. And this request is made by Shannon, Director Eason from the Parks Department. She's been working on this project for quite a while, and this is just an additional purchase of property to get us through probably the area in the Grand Beach area or Grand Beach Drive area. Any questions on that purchase? Any questions? Okay, I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? This will be the purchase of a property for the continuation of Singing Sands Trail. Anything online? Okay, I'll close public comment. Any further comments from the board? Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Miss Tisdale.
Aye.
Miss Smith.
Aye.
Miss Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well, and I appreciate Miss Eason continuing to work on the Singing Sands Trail. I know it's been a labor of love for her, so a long time. We're getting there. The next order of business is a change order. The city engineer is requesting a change order for the 2025-1 CCMG paving project to add Sanders Ave to the paving list in the amount not to exceed $18,375.00. Anyone here to speak on that? Shim, you good?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, we do have Shim here, who is our engineer of record for this project. Should there be any questions from the board? We do have proof of funding with this. For this change order, and I do believe Sanders is just a small little piece of Sanders there. It's not a very long piece of road, if you will, so it makes sense. There's probably an economic of scale there with the paving going on. Any questions of Mr. Khalil or city engineer? All right, I'll open up. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? Going once. All right, we're good. I'll close public comment. Any further questions of the board of Mr. Khalil or City Engineer Warner is not here today, but of Mr. Khalil, or I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, where's second?
Got the next.
Second?
Second.
Cool.
Second.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Our next order of business is a request for special purchase. The Michigan City Police Department is requesting the special purchase of 3 Dodge Durangos that are currently being leased by the MCPD and buy them out for a total amount of $96,539.19. Good morning, Assistant Chief Worker.
Good morning, Board. Again, yes, Michigan City Police Department is requesting to buy out the leases on 3 Dodge 2023 Dodge Durangos that we currently have in our fleet. Again, we have been on a 3-year lease agreement with these vehicles. coming to the term of that lease here in a couple of weeks. And again, we're looking to purchase them outright for the total of, for all three is $96,539.19. All three vehicles are, two of them are equipped for, I would say, detective services with equipment, right? Police emergency lighting, storage and whatnot. Equipment in those vehicles is $8,762.56. One of them is currently as a K-9 vehicle and has equipment in it for the amount, total in the amount of $18,604.36. So again, it's, I would say, convenient, most cost effective to keep that equipment currently installed in those vehicles, keep them up and running.
That makes sense. Any questions for Assistant Chief Worker from the board? Any questions?
Not a question, but a statement. He did include that funding has already been appropriated for the 2025 MCPD budget. So
Correct.
Absolutely. Sounds like a good deal. Any other questions of Assistant Chief Worker? If not, I'll open up for public comment. Public comment on this item?
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Alley Street. We just want to be assured these are going to be the ones with the V6 engines, not the V8s like the town of Maryville and the Indiana State Police had to replace last year. We don't want none of those. Other than that, I think this is a great deal, and go ahead and go through with this purchase. Thank you.
If I may, I'll just respond to that. Yeah, we don't have any of the Hemi Durangos, which have been a constant problem for the state and other municipalities.
That's good. Any other public comments? Any other public comment on this item? Any other public comments? Okay, I'm closed public comments. Any further questions of Assistant Chief, or do I can I entertain a motion? I'll make
Motion to approve.
I'll second it. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, our next order of business is a policy and procedures update. The Human Resources Department is requesting to update the policies and procedures manual. 1, update policy number 108, drug and alcohol testing policy with exhibits A and C. 2, update policy number 307, sick leave. 3, update policy number 318, health and welfare benefits. And 4, update policy 405, tobacco use. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good.
Hey, I'll start with the drug and alcohol policy. Currently, we drug test everyone who is hired for the city. We would like to make a change to only test those who are applying for safety-sensitive positions. So it costs us about $75, $80 per test, and we're testing our seasonals, and usually our seasonals come back within a year, when normally the policy is if you've been gone for less than 12 months, you wouldn't have to get another test unless you were randomly pulled. So we would like to change it to all full and part-time employees who are hired in a safety-sensitive position. The next item under drug and alcohol testing is for accidents. So if there is a post-accident, we would test the employee for drugs and alcohol. We would only test them if there was damage to the vehicles and if it was disabling. We want to test them regardless to whether there's damage or not. So if there is an accident, regardless to how minor or how major, we want to make sure that they are sent for drug testing as well. And then also under drug and alcohol testing, we had temporary, part-time, and seasonal employees. We want to remove the temporary employees and the seasonal employees. So you have to be full or part-time in a safety-sensitive position to be drug tested. We will continue with our random pulls as we have, and it will be for our full-time safety-sensitive employees. So when you go to the departments, we would remove Central Services Superintendent, the Director of the Street Department, Vector Control, Engineering, Mayor, the Park Superintendent, directors in the park, the secretary in the zoo, the personnel director, planning department director, planners, inspectors, building commissioner, and the regular sanitary district employees. That is it for drug and alcohol testing.
Any questions? Any questions to the board? Ms. Tisdale?
Why would you not randomly drug test any employee who drives a city vehicle?
So we already drug test them. They're in our random pools because they're considered our safety sensitive employees.
Any other questions? Mr. Simmons, I see you getting ready.
Yeah.
I
I'm waiting.
I heard what you said.
Yeah.
So you would test them there even if we have an accident?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they are in an accident, they will be tested right after the accident.
That's
Okay. Okay.
regardless of
Yes.
bump something
Yes.
versus
Yes.
destroy something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason for all these changes is due to financing?
So we have our biggest group is our temporary and seasonal employees. So they're the ones that's costing us the most amount of money. So we hire many people for parks for seasonal, for all the events that we have. So every year we get this influx during time to hire temporary and seasonal employees.
And what does that cost come out to be?
About $75-$80 every time they're tested.
And how many employees are we talking about seasonal?
We have over 100
Oh,
seasonal
yeah.
employees.
And then if they roll over, the
They
new
come
ones,
back.
yeah,
and
right,
get
right,
tested
right,
again.
yeah,
Every
right.
time they come back, they're tested, regardless to how long they've been gone.
More? How would, Attorney LePage, when we make votes, when we vote, do you want us to vote? Should we vote on each policy change or collectively all the changes?
It's up to you. They could all be presented. If you want to do it piecemeal, you could, or do it all collectively.
Okay, no, I'd like to hear it all. I was just wondering in the end, do we vote individually or all together? So, yeah.
So you want me to go to the next policy change?
I think so. Yeah, let's go through all of them and then yeah, let's go through all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is policy number 307, which is sick leave. And what we did here was just specify how many days individuals would get. In our current policy, it's very vague. So we actually broke it down so they will understand how many days they received after they have completed their introductory period. So this is just advancing the policy to show how many days you will get based on when you started and your 90-day probationary period. Okay, the next one is health and welfare benefits. Currently, when we hire an individual, they have to wait 90 days before they receive any insurance. We have found some difficulties in hiring when we get to the insurance because people are leaving their current employers and coming here and we're telling them they can't get insurance for 90 days. So it has been a deterrent for some because they will go without insurance for 90 days. So we've been meeting with the mayor and our brokers, and we came up with a 30-day waiting period for insurance. So once an individual has been here for 30 days, they will then be eligible for our insurance benefits. We want to make sure it's more attractive and we can get quality people.
Yes, I think that would make us much more competitive. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've worked in other cities where you get them after 6 weeks, even, so
Some of them are day one.
day one, so, yeah, that's good. It's good.
I am asking that we table the tobacco use until our next meeting.
Yeah, we should probably break them up then. Okay, absolutely.
And that's it for the policies and procedures.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the board on any of the topics tonight today? Any further questions?
No, I totally concur on all the changes. I went through it
Yeah, it's pretty.
Thank you.
pretty.
Can you explain the sick leave for me again? The
Yeah.
change?
So in our current policy, there is no grid. So we added a grid and put it exacts as to, so people can understand when they read this, if I complete my introductory period by X date, this is how many days I'm going to receive. Right now, all of this is empty. It just says you will receive sick days after you've completed your introductory period.
So it's basically a schedule.
Yes.
That's nice. Okay, I'm going to open it up for public comment on these items. Public comment. Any public comment on these items?
Yes, this is Tommy Kalavic for 1316 Olive Drive. I actually did read the city's drug policy word for word. I had to. I think there's something that needs to be changed. So first of all, for the love of God, please get a different vendor for the drug screening, the drug testing, other than the Franciscan Working Well Clinic. That place, so even all the companies that we've had in the past, even come and gone, we've had multitudes of issues with them. But I think there's some much better ones out there we can use. Secondly, I think we could set so we got the opioid settlement money that we could pay for all their drug screening and testing with. I think that'd be the way to go. There's one of the policies is the municipal and test positive for marijuana. We give them a 30-day suspension without pay, and the city pays. We got to send them to drug class. No, the city's got to pay for that. I feel that the employee ought to pay for that out of their pocket, or the union membership should pay for that out of their union dues. That shouldn't be on the taxpayers because they can't control their behavior. Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I'm all for simplifying rules and clarifying things and making us more competitive. I might suggest that for executive hires, I don't know how that would be defined, department leaders, redevelopment directors, planning directors, maybe there's not even a 30-day period. If you're hiring executive level people, they don't want to lose insurance even for 30 days. For everyone else, I think it's a good policy, but at a higher level, people aren't going to accept that even at 30 days, in my opinion. Also, when regards drug testing, I'm all for reducing the requirements to hiring people, especially for non-safety oriented roles. But if I heard correctly, people, for example, in the code enforcement who drive city vehicles would be exempted from this unless there was an accident they'd be tested. I would suggest that anybody who drives a city vehicle be subject to this initially, not just post problem. That's where our liabilities come from, vehicles, I would think. So I think that's worth considering. I also would consider, I would urge you to consider, or HR to consider, easing the cannabis rules. If your blood test comes back with opioids or fentanyl or cocaine, you've got a real problem. But even though we all know weed is illegal in Indiana, we also all know that a pretty good percentage of people enjoy recreational marijuana. And I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot when we try to be prima donnas about it. There's pretty much centuries of use data that is a pretty innocuous thing. Again, if there's a problem, people get tested, are going to get in trouble. But I think we should remove the cannabis prohibition from the initial hires. Other cities are doing this now.
Yeah.
It's part of social equity and fairness, actually. But these are probably good changes all in all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other any other public comments? Any other public comments on these items? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any further questions from the board or on any of these policies?
Yes, back to the random drug testing as Scott just alluded to. So from what I had understood from your answer, anybody who drives a city vehicle is moved into the safety
They're
pool,
in,
and then
they're in safety sensitive positions.
and then they're all subject to random drug testing?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make that especially clear because I agree with Scott. The majority of our potential liability comes from city vehicles, and anybody who drives a city vehicle should be subject to random drug testing, in my opinion.
Any other questions?
Also addressing Scott's comment about top level candidates having insurance immediately versus 30 days. What is your feeling about that, or how do you look at that?
I wouldn't object to it, because when you're interviewing someone, they're really looking at their total package and how long they have to wait, especially if they're providing insurance for their entire families. So if we want to attract better candidates, we have to have a nice package for them to accept. And so I wouldn't object to leadership having insurance as of day one.
Do we have funding for that to occur? Do you think? Do we?
I mean, we budget per employee, so
Employee.
I mean, we only hire as we need them, so I think it'd be included.
Well, I'm sure you're only talking about department heads, so you've got a
Correct.
very identifiable group.
Yeah.
And you know the number, so I think it's doable.
Yeah, and the money's already kind of allocated. It's just a matter of when it starts to pay, essentially. Yeah.
And essentially, I feel like those top level candidates aren't going to be here for a week and then leave. So
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably picking up and moving here. So, or coming from another executive position, if you will.
My only comment to that would be whether they're executive level or not, they still have the same worry. I mean, I would want me, you know what I'm saying, insurance immediately, whether I'm getting that position or not. I still got a family to feed. So, I mean, I struggle with the difference really, but
Okay. Any other questions? How's the feeling of the board? When we vote on these, let's take them each separately. Let's do policy 108, 307, 318, and then let's table 505. That we were asked to table that. Let's actually table that one first. I'll make a motion that we table the update policy 505 tobacco use. How long would you like for us to table that?
We should be ready the next meeting that you have.
Okay, excellent. We could table so I'll make a motion that we table policy 505 tobacco use till our next regular scheduled Board of Works meeting.
second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
I
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
Anyone have feelings on the other ones? I'll make a motion that we update that we approve the update to 108 drug and alcohol testing policy with exhibits A and C.
Second.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Mrs. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Can I just interrupt?
Oh.
There's an exhibit B as well. I don't want you to make a motion that didn't include B.
Oh,
So it approve the recommended changes with all exhibits attached.
with all exhibits attached. Okay, sorry. I figured there might be a B in there. Hey, that's it. Okay. So all exhibits, I will, do I need to amend my motion?
Yes.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to approve 108 drug and alcohol testing policy with all exhibits attached.
Second.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Would anyone else like to take the others, or you want me just to go down? I'll go down. Update policy 307 sick leave. I'll make a motion that we approve the update policy 307 sick leave.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Okay. And then our last one is, I'll make a motion. I motion that we update policy 318 health and welfare benefits. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Did you want to approve it as presented or approve it
Well,
the modification?
if we did the modifications, I feel like those are some pretty significant modifications.
Do you want to table that as well to be brought back at the?
Would you like to consider those? Would you like some time to consider?
I can go back.
Okay. I don't want to do something if it is sensitive in nature, like needs to be done quickly. But I do think those are pretty good recommendations, actually.
And this actually wouldn't go into effect till the first of the year.
Okay, so we do have some time.
Yes.
Okay. Let's make I'll make a motion to table this. When would you like to table this? Would the next one be okay?
That's
Next-
fine. That's fine.
Okay, to our next regular scheduled Board of Works meeting, just to consider some of the comments that were made today. I'm so. Are all the changes taking place January 1st?
No, the health benefits is January 1st. The drug would be immediately. And the sick is immediately.
Okay, so we got some time on this. Okay, so I'll finish my motion. I'll make a motion that we table along with 505-318 health and welfare benefits to consider some of the comments that were made tonight to our next regular scheduled Board of Works meeting.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much for putting us together. Those were great comments, by the way, for the health and welfare benefits. Okay. Our next order of business is the Human Resources Department is requesting the approval of the amended to the summary plan description for termination revisions. I'm sorry, I probably totally slaughtered that. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what that is?
So in front of you is an amendment from our insurance, and the way it stands right now, when a person leaves their employment, their insurance is terminated immediately. And just as we have the grace period for getting on, we want to have that same grace period for leaving. So once they terminate, we want them to stay on the insurance until the end of the month, and it makes things cleaner for processing and payroll and in finance and in HR. So they would have insurance to the end of the month that they actually leave the city, and we will take that final deduction that is due to the city on their last paycheck.
That makes sense. Any questions?
What happens currently? Sorry.
No, you're.
Currently, when a person leaves, their insurance ends on that last day of work. Sometimes there may have been payroll deductions taken after they left to include the end of the month, and sometimes not. So we just want to make it equivalent where they have insurance to the end of the month, where when they're leaving, they can be insured until the last day of the month that they actually terminated their employment.
Any other questions? Seems fair. Yeah, I do. I think that seems fair. Agree with that. Okay.
This is just a little side note. Do we offer COBRA?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yes.
And so that would kick in after.
Absolutely. We
Af-
send them, they get a letter from the insurance company offering them COBRA, and then it's up to them whether they decide to take it or not.
Excellent. Any further questions? Any other comments?
Sorry.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
Is COBRA time determinant? Like, do they have like a specific or?
So they give them 30 days from the time that they send them the notice, but it's good for 18 months. They can stay on COBRA for 18 months.
Good knowledge. Any other questions? All right, I'll open it for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item?
Scott Mellon, Turner Kenwood Place. Yes, this is a good policy. From my perspective, it's been standard. My wife recently retired at the start of the month. Our insurance covered through the end of the month. So that's a fairly standard policy as I understand it. It's also somewhat cruel to just cancel somebody's insurance the day they lose their job. That's like a double hammer. COBRA is a federal program that allows people to pay full freight. There's no subsidy. So if you have a family plan, and it can be really expensive to carry on coverage. I also believe in the insurance rules. You have 60 days to go between policies and still be considered as having coverage. I believe that's worth checking, but So for folks who are transitioning, I believe there's a 60-day, because I lost my health insurance when my wife retired. I had a 60-day window to get insurance. I did it immediately, but apparently there's a 60-day window when you get new insurance for the coverage gap. It's just something to consider when you're going over these HR things, but we should do that end of the month policy. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anything online? Any public comments? Okay, I'll close public comments. Any further questions of our HR director? Any further questions? Makes really good sense to me, and it seems very fair. Anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Your second?
Support.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much for putting these together.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Our next order of business is employee benefits renewal, general insurance services. Actually, your high street. Yeah, I was gonna say this is different now. Is requesting the approval of employee benefits renewal and plan changes. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Eric Gibson with High Street.
High Street, absolutely.
High Street. Old habits die hard, right? So, as you guys know, we've been working with the mayor and the benefits committee on the employee benefits renewal that's coming up. So I have several items that I'll walk through, but please interrupt me if you all have questions. The full contracts for these policies aren't actually generated until everything is approved. So what we ask is that if you guys approve all of this, you actually also approve the contracts to be signed at a later date. All right, so on the first comparison that you all have, we've got medical, prescription drug, and the stop loss renewal. We went to 12 different stop loss markets. 8 of them were declined to quote due to large ongoing claims. 3 of those quoted, but were not competitive. And then, of course, we do have our renewal from Symetra, who's our current stop loss. The comparison that you're looking at includes the UMR third-party administrative renewal, APTA Quantum renewal, GIS High Street, stop loss contract, and then our organ transplant policy as well. So our recommendation would actually be the revised renewal. So that's that far right-hand column. Overall fixed costs increased by 22%. This was driven by stop loss.
Here, can I interrupt real quick?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
page are you looking at, just so the board can follow
right.
along? Thank you.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I know there's a lot.
Speech. Got it. Got it.
Good. All right, so the overall fixed costs increased by 22%. That was driven by stop loss being increased by 28%. The administrative costs actually decreased by 4%, and then the overall claims liability increased by 20% as well. So the overall total increase on expected cost is 20%. Now, I will note that 80% of the entire spend of this program is based on claims that are going to happen throughout the year. So we're instituting some changes that are hopefully going to curtail that increase, and we'll see that throughout the course of the year. I'll pause there in case anybody has questions.
Could you expand upon that?
Yeah, so that's coming up. Okay. All right, thank you. And then within that UMR renewal, there is a short-term disability renewal. So there's no increase to that. The only change is that there's going to be an update to the light duty requirement and just some clarifying language within that contract. As far as plan changes, something that we'll be instituting or would like to institute is called Paid Health. Essentially what this is, it's a program that sources alternate funding for some really expensive drugs. There are tons of programs out there that can actually reduce the member cost as well as the city's cost. So we would like to engage with those programs and bring down the overall cost. By doing so, we're looking at a savings of about $400,000. It only impacts 11 members. Those members are in the process of being contacted if you guys do approve this. It's the exact same drug, so nothing's being taken away, but this is a mandatory program. And Some members may be asked to provide things like household income because some of these programs are income based.
Qualified programs.
Absolutely. So I did attach a flyer as well as some sample summary plan description language. So we are also going to be adding an additional HSA plan for members to choose from. So again, not taking anything away, just an additional option with some higher deductibles and out-of-pocket costs. As far as the PPO plan is concerned, the group would like to allow no more new enrollees into that PPO plan. So if anyone is currently on that PPO plan, they can keep it going forward, just no new enrollees into that program. Another addition would be the spousal carve-out secondary coverage language. So if a spouse has access to other group coverage, they must enroll in that other group coverage to then be eligible for the city's plan. And we want that because the city would then be secondary for that individual. We also currently have $0 cost share for the expanded preventative drug list, which is just preventative care, from the ACA, includes a bunch of different drugs. You guys currently have the expanded drug list. We are going to move to the standard drug list to save about $70,000. Again, these drugs are still going to be available. They're just not going to be at $0 cost share for employees. Again, $70,000 in potential savings. And just a reminder, all of the pharmacy, remember you guys do have that North Shore Clinic. So anything that folks can source from the clinic is going to be $0 cost share for them. Last but certainly not least, we do have the life AD&D and vision renewal. So the city currently has a $50,000 group life insurance through Dearborn. I would recommend moving that to Equitable simply because you'll save about $8,000 a year. And we've also got lines with Equitable already. So there's going to be some streamlining of the administrative tasks there. The vision renewal, recommend continuing with MetLife. You guys have a second pair rider that only a couple of companies actually offer. It's a fantastic benefit, and also the pricing is really, really competitive. Dental is currently on a rate lock, also with Equitable. I know that was a lot, so I'll pause and whatever questions you guys have.
Can you explain a little bit more about paid health?
Yeah, of course. So paid health, it's essentially the exact same drugs that people are going to get. What paid health does is they reach out to those qualified programs to see if people would qualify for any of them. So let's say it's a $100,000 drug, but the manufacturer actually provides a coupon for like 100% off if they qualify for the certain program. So by enacting this, the member still gets their drug, but that $100,000 charge then comes off of the city's liability. So again, only about 11 members currently that would be affected by that. It's just shy of $400,000 in savings. So it's not a small number.
And they would qualify to have that. The individual insured would have to be the qualified person.
Correct.
And we know that they qualify for sure.
So we don't know for sure until we actually put them into the program because again, some of it's going to be income based. A lot of those folks should be qualified.
Okay, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah.
So we still see some type of savings.
Absolutely.
So currently the city is covering the cost of all of these drugs?
Correct.
Yeah.
And to be clear, this is not going to impact the members. They will still continue to get their drugs that they need, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there should be no impact to members. All of these drugs are still available. We're just going to help them get sourced through a different avenue that's a little more cost effective.
Perfect.
So what happens if you said it's mandatory?
Mhm.
So what if they say, no, I don't want to?
I would recommend that employee then go to North Shore because then it would be free.
Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. What else? Anything else?
That's it.
No. Well, that's it. Okay. That was a lot.
It was. Thank you. Thank you all for the time.
That was a lot. Okay. Let me open it up for public comment real quick, and then we might have more questions. Let people ponder it in their head for a minute.
Well, yes, Tommy Kalava, 1316. Just really want to commend High Street Financial Insurance. That's their new name now. Same great people, Graham State Service. I really want to express my gratitude for being a presenting sponsor for all of Michigan City special events. They just sponsored the Oktoberfest this week and they just continue the same work. I think it's really fascinating when you guys come up here and talk about the insurance needs of the city. Thank you.
Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I heard a bunch of stuff. I heard 28% increase, I heard 20% aggregate increase, and I heard savings of about $478,000. So I'm trying to square saving $475,000 or so and a 20% increase. Insurance sucks. This is a terrible thing to have to deal with every year.
Yeah.
It sounds like good changes, but I'm just a little confused how the math worked. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, okay, let's keep on doing public comment. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Okay, I'm gonna close public comment now. Come on up. Yeah, come on.
Yep. So the overall increase is about 20%. So if you make no changes, that's the 20% that you're going to see. So that 478,000 in savings, that would be after the 20%. So everything status quo, 20%. If you implement the changes, we're looking at 470 below that.
Okay.
So that's the savings I referenced.
Any other questions? Yeah. Okay. Well, any other questions? Any other questions from the board? Any other comments from the board? I assume everyone's had time to review this. Ms. LePage has reviewed this. HR has reviewed this. Okay. Controller, the money's reviewed this. Okay, excellent. Do I hear, can I entertain a motion or further
Move to
comment?
approve, sir.
Support.
Okay, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale, Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And then there's one more piece to this that you need, and that was the contracts.
Correct.
We would make a motion to once they're provided to us, we would sign them.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the appropriate motion, Attorney LePage? Is there anything else we need to do with it? I guess is my question.
So
Once,
I think you're fine.
Okay.
You've already approved them all.
but do we need an individual motion to approve, or do I just sign the contracts when they come later on?
What do you feel more comfortable with? Do you feel more comfortable with an emotion with the contracts being,
I'm good.
okay?
We already approved it. I feel like the contracts is it's just a formality of making it, signing it away. So it's like, it's kind of like what we do with the trucks. We do the same with the Durangos and things. When they come in, we sign them. So I think we're good.
Perfect.
Thank you. All right. Next order of business is a request for traffic signs. Captain Greg Jesse, Michigan City Police Department is requesting no parking signs. Oh, no, I'm sorry, no parking between signs posted on the east side of the alley between the LaPorte County Courthouse and the Michigan City Public Library to prevent vehicles from parking near the Sallyport entrance and allow for transport vehicles to enter and exit safety. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning. This request came from the sheriff's deputies that work out there. They're having some problems by their Sallyport with cars on full days, park along there, making it hard to get in and out. We did have an accident there picking up a prisoner. I don't know if it was related to cars parked along that driveway, but what kind of like is the two signs there, one right there on the south side of the in line with the south side of the building, and then one just on the south side of that extra drive for the library. So no one parks there and it makes it easier for paddy wagons and such to get in.
That makes sense. I've been seeing people park in that alley, and it me and the city engineer likes to drive down that alley and to cut through, and sometimes it's very tight down that alley. I agree. Any questions of Captain Jesse? It's a pretty simple request. I do know that we are in charge of that alley. It wasn't vacated. It actually is an alley, so it's in our purview to put signage in there should we elect so. Any further questions? Okay, I'll open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comments? Any public comments? Going once, twice. Okay, we're done. Close public comments. Any further questions of Captain?
There's a picture if someone wanted to look at it.
Actually, can you pass it around? Let's pass it around just so everyone knows what alley we're talking about. It is the Yeah, it is the north-south alley in between the two properties. And there is a Sally Port in there in that alley. Thank you for the map. Any further questions, or do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Captain. I probably just need you to stay up here for this next one. Yeah. Our next order of business is a request for traffic sign. Rafael Games is requesting a stop sign at Hendrick Street and Francis Street to allow neighborhood children to cross safely for their school bus. Mr. Games here today, Rafael?
He was here, yeah.
Okay. Captain, have you had time to look at this, or you may not have? Maybe I don't even need you to.
I did, pulling up the, email. I don't believe there was any accidents. I
Okay.
forget what I put in the email. In that area that was directly, involving that intersection.
Okay.
There was some that you have to list like the closest intersection, but looking at them, the intersection did not play a role in there.
Okay.
There was some software that we were testing out from a company. It doesn't look like that there's any speeding problems on how they collect their speed information. So running that for the month of June, there was no real major speeding issues in that area as well. So I
Okay.
don't know. And as far as for the bus would stop traffic on both sides, and I mean, I've seen other bus stops where the kids have to cross the street once the bus stops the traffic. So I
Yeah.
wasn't seeing anything since 2020 reasons to put one in.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board? Any further questions? Y'all got any questions of Captain first? Okay. Open it for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item?
Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place, no.
Any public? All right.
Hendrick Street looks like a fairly minor side street. It has a lot of T intersections. It doesn't seem like a high traffic place. I think children are resilient. They're not delicate flowers. They're kind of bouncy. And I say no to an extra stop sign. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Oh, yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. My family all lived, we lived at 111 Henry Street years ago. I know that area really well. I know they did some sidewalk improvements on that years ago, and I don't think they need a stop sign there either. We don't need more stop signs. You don't put stop signs up to slow people down. That's always been the policy, so just deny it.
Any other any other public comments? Anything online? I was hoping the requester might be here, but that's okay. Okay, I'll close public comments. What's the pleasure of the board?
Not to diminish, obviously, the concern for the resident. I accept, Captain Jesse's assessment, so I make a motion to deny.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, our next order of business is a road closure for special event. The Minority Health Partners of LaPorte County is requesting to host their annual breast cancer awareness walk on Saturday, October 4th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The route will start at 2722 Wabash Street and go north up to Patinia Parkway, then east to Franklin Street, then south to West Cool Spring Ave, then west to Wabash Street, and finish back at 2722 Wabash Street. Good morning.
Good morning. Albertine Allen, home address is 309 Euclid Avenue. I am currently the Assistant Director for Minority Health Partners of LaPorte County.
Tell us a little bit about the walk and what.
This is our,
Yeah.
I think, our 15th year with the walk. It's breast awareness. And it's just to make the public aware of breast cancer in our community and nationwide. And so we don't raise funds from that. We just enjoy the day.
Miss Allen, how many people attend this event?
Last year we had 36 people. The first year we had 102. So, and you know, it's kind of like dwindled down some, but hopefully this year we have people from Valpo and Chesterton also.
Excellent. Captain Jesse, have you reviewed this route? You're good. It seems like it's happened quite a bit.
I looked at the form saying that there was no off-duty officers and stuff. I think it said there's no road closure, so I don't, are you walking on the sidewalk, on the street? Yeah, on the sidewalk, there's no issues on our end.
Okay. Excellent. Any, Miss Allen, anything else you want to tell us about the event? How do you sign up for it?
You can sign up at the office, which is 2601 East Michigan Boulevard. You also don't have to sign up. You can just show up at the address on Wabash. Hopefully we will have the National Guard there, but that hasn't been approved yet. And they will offer flu shots or COVID shots.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions of Miss Allen? Any questions from the board? Okay, I'll open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item? All right, I'll close public comments. Any further questions for Miss Allen, or do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Okay. Our next order of business is removal of collection box. Tommy Kolovic of 1316 Ohio Street is requesting the removal of the apparel donation box. I'm sorry, apparel donation collection box on St. John's Road in the parking lot north of the former Sears store at Marquette Mall. So this will be in the back of that Sears building. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, this is Harry. This is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. I'm just requesting that awful mess gets removed. I know a few months ago, somebody actually dumped a pool table there. Now they're dumping their items outside that collection box. I know it's, I looked up the principal owner of that LLC. It's I think you put that up years ago. It's for a thrift store over on Broadway in Maryville. I think they're actually affiliated with the City Outreach Foundation based in Hammond. I think we should be donating clothes so they can take it over to Maryville for a for-profit thrift store. I want to cite section 98-116, depositing garbage or other waste in public place or private places. Under subsection B, a private place, no person shall throw, place, leave, dump, or deposit, permit, or accumulate garbage, rubbish, or trash on any private property with the city, whether owned by such person or not. The owner and occupant shall at all times maintain their premises free of garbage, rubbish, and trash, and the owner and occupant shall only place garbage, rubbish, and or trash in receptacles authorized for collection. It's just to have Chris Carter send the payload and dump truck crew over and just pick it up and take the landfill and send them a bill for it. Thank you.
Tommy, I wish it was that easy. I'm going to look back at our code enforcement officer in the back, our CR manager. This really falls more in the realm because it's on private property. It really falls more. And this isn't the first time we've had issues with this donation box. It's been a constant issue in the past. So I'm going to let our code enforcers handle that. I wish it was as easy as scooping it up, but unfortunately, it just is not that easy.
Mr. President, I think it should just be referred to the code
Yeah.
enforcement. It's technically not a Board of Works matter because it is on private property. And it may even be more so going to the actual owner of the land, not the
Yeah.
owner of the box, who may want it removed as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Do we need a motion to that effect, or are we
just
good?
refer the
Okay.
whole matter. I don't think it needs to be tabled. It just needs to go to code enforcement.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm looking back here at DeMarcus. Thank you, DeMarcus. I'm gonna let him handle this. I'm sure there's probably some files on this one too. So thank you for bringing it to our attention,
I
Tommy.
just want to thank Ms. Isbell for getting me on the agenda and code enforcement, everybody working on this. Thank you.
You're good, Tommy. You're good. All right, our next order of business is our payroll claims docket. This is the payroll and claims for August 22nd and the payroll pension docket for September 1st. Everybody had time to review those?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is the claims docket for September 2nd, 2025. Has everyone had time to review that? And if so, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, on to our unfinished business. A request for sign repair. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting the following items: reconstruction of the stop sign guardrail triangle at corner of Chicago Street, 10th and Kentucky. This was tabled from our July 7th, 2025 meeting. And at that meeting, I do believe we had a solution. I just don't know if it's been implemented yet. The solution was taking it out and they were going to stripe that triangle. I just don't know if it's been done. I haven't been over there in a couple of days.
There's two stop signs there as we speak.
Has it been painted and everything taken down? Okay, so it's implemented. Okay. Do you feel that it, Mr. Simmons, I have not been over there. Do you feel it was implemented in the way that it was explained to us? Or do we want to wait and hear back from our city engineer that it's officially implemented?
I prefer that come out of his mouth.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're like, I'm not an engineer. I don't know. Fair enough. So let's hold this over to our next meet. Let's keep this on the table, unfinished business item to our next meeting, and then we can officially take it off. If that seems okay. I'll make a motion. We keep this on to our next meeting in September, and then we can officially hear back from city engineer. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right. Okay. Request for signage or striping. Nancy Cross, 501 Pearl Street, is requesting stripage or signage to stop people from parking either partially or fully on the sidewalk that is on the north side of Elston from Lafayette Street to Spring Street. This was tabled from our July 21st, 2025 meeting. I think we may need our city engineer to address this one as well. So, let's, I guess, table that one till our next, so just hold it over. Attorney LePage, do we need a motion to table this or can we just hold it?
I think you need a motion.
Official
So
motion.
If you table it like indefinitely, but I would just have a motion.
Okay. Wait, does she want to speak? Do you want to speak? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about this item. That's okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure you get your time. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we hold this over till our next official Board of Public Works and Safety meeting in September and wait to hear back from our city engineer and or our street department.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Our next order of business is our CSX repair updates on the repairs on the Buffalo Street crossing. And I think this is probably still going to be our city engineer as well. So he is out on vacation right now. So I will make a motion that we table this to our next meeting as well to at least hear back from him.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Now, awarding of bids. Our next order of business is awarding a bid. Awarding of a bid for demolition at 901 Manhattan Street. And this was tabled from our July 7th 2025 meeting. Attorney LePage, any update on that one?
We have still not received the order from the bankruptcy court abandoning the property. I had Attorney Beal just pull it up this morning to see if it was there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think procedurally there was like 4 corporate entities that got involved into the bankruptcy proceeding that have kind of complicated it. But we're hoping that by the next board meeting that the order of abandonment will come through, so then the board can then proceed.
Would you like for us to hold this to our next meeting?
I would, please.
Would anyone like to make a motion to that effect?
Motion to table it till our next board meeting.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Mrs. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Okay, our next order of business is a determination on order to demolish. This is a determination regarding order to demolish unsafe building at 1605 Franklin Street in Michigan City. This was tabled from our August 18th, 2025 meeting. You may recall that was when we had the full public hearing, or I'm sorry, what was the official hearing we had? There was a full
You had an administrative hearing.
administrative hearing on this item. At that time, we elected to not render a decision, but come back and render a decision. You will get your time in a minute. Just hold on. Is there anything from the board?
I do have something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if I can, just for the record, following the hearing, I had discussions and I sent dialogue to all the board members that it would be inappropriate for the board to consider evidence from either party outside of the administrative hearing, because the hearing had concluded. So I know both parties had tried to submit additional evidence to the board, and the hearing had concluded, so it would have been improper for the board to accept the evidence without giving the other party the opportunity for cross-exam and everything on it. So I wanted to make the board aware that if the board wanted to reopen the hearing to allow both parties to present that evidence, you could, but that's up to you, or if the board's ready to render a decision today as well.
Okay. I will open this up for a public comment.
Thank you. It's the first meeting, so.
Come up here and introduce yourself, and then, yes.
Thank you. That was a positive comment. Good morning. Marisa Novak, 117 Boyd Circle. I'm here to advocate for the protection, preservation, and development of 1605 Franklin Street. Please save it from the unnecessary, premature, and costly demolition. It's a beautiful historic building that I've been in with an active owner who's been very active in investing money and labor and time into renovating and redesigning this building. So please do not impede it. He is willing to go ahead and mitigate any safety concerns that you have or the codes violation department has. Given the current architectural and engineering plans for 1605 Franklin Street, it has the potential to be an iconic destination for locals and visitors. Moreover, as part of a larger multi-building master plan for that block, it will breathe back life into an area of Michigan City, which is desperately in need of it. You know, yesterday, I drove from East Cool Spring Avenue to East 4th Street. On the east side of Franklin Street, there were 16 vacant, for rent, for sale buildings. On the west side of Franklin Street, there were 26. That makes a total of 42 vacant, for sale, for rent buildings. Then I added some vacant, for sale, for rent buildings on 4th Street, Wabash, Riplet, Skiat Legion, excuse me. Overall, there were more than 60 vacant buildings for sale or for rent, not being occupied, not being used for business or any other services. This doesn't even include Zombieville, Marquette Mall and Theater that's stood for decades vacant and also a safety risk. And then there is the heavily fire damaged house on Earl and Franklin, a clear safety risk that should have been demolished decades ago, given it's in a neighborhood and around the corner, or used to be around the corner from an active elementary school. So I guess my point is this: I don't understand the rushed priority to have this building demolished, especially when you have Mr. Graff, a willing partner and owner of 1605 Franklin Street, who wants to do something good for the residents of Michigan City and bring it back from this ghost town-like feel as you're going down Franklin Street. He wants to partner with you. He's willing to listen. He's willing to move on any safety concerns you have. Please let him. And thank you very much. I hope you reconsider.
Additional public comments? Come on.
Yeah, Tommy Klobuck, 1316 Ohio State. I'd like to finish reading the unsafe building law. I got only three more subsections to go. Under subsection I, the blighting influence of vacant deteriorated structures that adversely affects the tax revenues of local government. The General Assembly finds that vacant deteriorated structures create a serious and substantial problem in urban areas and are public nuisances. Under subsection K, in recognition of problems created in a community by vacant structures, the General Assembly finds that vigorous and disciplined action should be taken to ensure the proper maintenance and repair of vacant structures and encourage local government bodies to adopt maintenance and repair standards appropriate to the community in accordance with this chapter and other statutes. I do hope you'll enjoy Mr. Graff. I hope you work with him, and I hope he is able to save this building and whatever. I know usually you don't tear them down if they got a good plan. Sounds like he's wanting to fix this up. I know we got a lot of others that need to be done, but I really think you need to embed that statute in your brain housings. Thank you.
Scott Mellon, 200 Kennedy Place. I support wholeheartedly what this lady had to say. I don't understand the rush to judgment on this. We've got 901 Manhattan that we want to tear down, but we can't because it's stuck in some administrative hellhole cluster, which I don't understand. It's like, we're a municipality. If you've got a demolition order, suck it. But this building, as the lady said, we've got 60 vacant buildings in the area, which looks terrible, and we all know that. We all know Michigan City is moving forward. We know Mr. Graff owns the adjoining building and has plans for this building. And I think he's here. Hopefully you can hear from him. Yeah, he's got his hands up. I think we should postpone any demolition order. I think you made a mistake 2 weeks ago by freezing everything. I think you should put him on notice that he has to show progress of safing the building and making it weather tight, since it's open to the weather right now, which, as I understand it, was his plan that we have stopped in the middle of building season. So I absolutely think we should do our best to save this building, but I think we should also put demands on Mr. Graff to show rapid progress right now before the building season ends to make it weather tight and safe. I know there are public safety concerns with the fire department, but as has been pointed out, we have many vacant structures with similar conditions. The last thing we need is another vacant lot. That doesn't serve anybody's purpose. This building could be restored in a very dramatic fashion. Now, everything he's presented is just, frankly, at this point, a pipe dream, but let's let him, and I know he's owned the building for 3 years, and I don't know when he had his dumpsters there. I don't know when he was doing work. I don't know the details, but I think we should, especially with private property rights, it's a big deal to take somebody's property and demolish it. Let him show progress. If he doesn't show progress, well, then you've got the hammer. But, give him 3 months of the rest of this season to show good faith. Okay. On another matter, I implore this board and any other board that is responsible for having a public meeting and meeting the Open Meetings Act, get their meetings on our new municipal calendar. This meeting is not on today's calendar. It's on yesterday's calendar. I assumed the meeting would be this morning at 8:30, and until I walked into City Hall to see the notice on the bulletin board, I didn't know. We have a new website. We need to do better. I've been complaining about this for a year. I go to public meetings, and the only way I can go is if I see them listed on that calendar. And it's important that it be a person's responsibility, not as somebody in IT. It's Tom in IT. It's Amanda in the clerk's office. I don't care who it is. Somebody needs responsibility to post these public meetings on our municipal calendar, on our brand new website. And this is sort of like our refuse ordinance. We've had this now for months and months. Let's get it working. Thank you.
Mr. Graff, I'm going to give you the floor right now. I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. So I think I did as best as I could in terms of putting the plan together and giving you a bit of history in terms of the work that's been done over the last 3 years. And granted, it's been not continuous work. And the code enforcement people, I think, have concerns that it was not continuous work, and they think maybe I'm dragging my feet on it. But I do want to point out that I've been actively looking for permits, right? I can't do work without permits. And I'm going to make two observations here because I'm relatively new at this, but sometimes fresh eyes can help improve, the systemics of a situation. Because I've always wondered why Michigan City is so blighted with this beautiful jewel of a lakefront and good-willed people and so on. But what I'm finding is two things I want to point out to you, just for your consideration, with regardless of this particular situation, though using this situation as benefit of example. One, I think the rules that are in place work against the code enforcement people. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I just replaced a roof on a rental building in New Orleans. I needed a contractor that was bonded with the city, and I needed the means to do it. But you know what I didn't need? I didn't need a permit. I didn't need to go apply to somebody for permission to improve my own property. And that permit process is somewhat broken. We had a transition between a paper permit process and a digital permit process. I can't get involved in the permit process. I have to have a contractor do it. And then when I follow up on it, it's like, well, the contractor, I got fingers pointed everywhere. I just bricked in a driveway at another rental property in New Orleans. You know what I didn't need? I didn't need a permit. We completely replaced the entire side of a house, a rental building in Sea Isle City, New Jersey. And in so doing, we repiped a leak and so on. Do you know what we didn't need in Sea Isle City, New Jersey was permits and permission from our local municipal administrative staff that we could actually fix and repair our buildings. And so what I'm pointing out to you is that if these are indeed the rules that our folks in code enforcement are following and they're valid rules in your eyes, then you've set them up for failure because you're putting them at a point of friction with everybody that's trying to improve the city. Because you shouldn't get in between a man and his ability to improve his property and in so doing improve the city, right? And we replace vinyl siding, vinyl windows, no permits needed, and so on. So again, keep that into consideration, and I'll leave you with the final example that came up in the last hearing. And I was curious why nobody on the board even questioned Sue about this, but I told her, I was moving. I bought the building. I immediately tried to start cleaning it out, and I was stopped. And I was stopped by the code enforcement people because the person that I had working in the building to move a piece of garbage from point A to point B outside the building wasn't a contractor. Now, that should be just ludicrous to you. And maybe that's the, time-tested methodology in Michigan City, but I urge you to review those type of things. And by the way, it went further than that. Chris told me that I could not do it myself because I wasn't a contractor. I own the building, and I couldn't move garbage from the inside to the outside of the building without a permit. So you guys are setting these folks up for adversarial relationships with the general public, and I think that that's something that you should really take a hard look at because it's not customary and typical in other municipalities. And I've got plenty of opportunities to see multiple municipalities on commercial buildings, and this is not normal. Okay. And the second thing is, I think there's a shift that needs to happen in the department between a collaborative attitude with folks that are trying to improve the city. And again, this is just case of example, but I'm actually talking about a broader issue, right? Versus a gotcha type of attitude, right? And okay, they put a demolition order in and they said it was a fire hazard. No proof that it's a fire hazard whatsoever. It's not a fire hazard. There's no gas to the building. There's no electricity to the building, but they had that gotcha in there that it's a fire hazard for you guys to consider. They said it's blight, but they failed to present the fact, and they knew this, and I don't understand it, but they failed to present the fact that it was actively being worked on. You know, I get the code and, but it's not vacant. It's not abandoned. It's under construction. I have spent $90,000 moving stuff out of that building, trying to make it safer as we go along. And the only thing holding me up, as was previously stated, is the fact that I've got this permit process in front of me that is hindering it. And again, I will concede that the project has not been contiguous. And I have my own issues with contractors and so on that, but it's not from lack of trying. All right. And it's not from lack of a plan, and it's not from lack of resources. So, they use the fact that the building was broken in against me. I mean, they pulled nailed plywood off the front doors. And then they use that against me that the homeless are breaking into the building. I don't need gotcha moments. I need a city that's collaborative. I've got a lot of things that I'd like to do in the city and for the mid-city neighborhood in particular. And if I'm constantly worried about a gotcha type of attitude, then that's going to hinder communication, because every time I get you guys involved in something, I have to worry whether there's some tentacle that's going to get wrapped around my neck, and it's going to drive my cost up, and it's going to delay. And I'm going to get pulled into hearings like this, which frankly should have never happened. They should have worked with me. The minute they wanted to do an inspection, I would have brought them inside. And instead of stating things like the fire marshal did, that they're wood beams, I would have showed them that there's, 7 steel beams throughout the building, which gives us confidence that the building, along with my contractors climbing through it for 2 years, is stable and that it's not unsafe. So render your decision. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you'll let me go forward. I'd hate to see a parking lot on this thing, but it'll be a parking lot, and it'll be a parking lot for years, because I'm not going to build on it if I have to tear it down. But what I would like to do is beautify the neighborhood, preserve the history. And again, thank you for your time. And please consider those macro issues. Aside from today, you got a lot of opportunity here to improve things. And there's a reason why there's 60 vacant and for sale and abandoned buildings that Ms. Novak cited. There's a reason for that. And it's hard to do business in Michigan City. And you guys really need to take a hard look at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Graff. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Okay, I'm going to close public comments. Board comments. Don't everybody speak at once. Come, let's have some discussion. Go, Ms. Moore.
I have to read so I don't forget what.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. You're perfectly fine.
As a member of the Board of Works, I sincerely appreciate Mr. Graff's interest in investing in Michigan City and his stated vision for the future of the property at 1605 Franklin Street. Revitalization and preservation of our historic structures are goals we all share. However, our responsibility as a governing body is to ensure the safety of our citizens and to uphold the ordinances and regulations placed before us. The Board of Works does not take demolition orders lightly, as much work goes into the process before the demolition order is issued. After reviewing the evidence presented during our last meeting on August 18th, 2025, the board must weigh both the potential of the project and the risks associated with leaving the structure in its current state. During the meeting, it was found that the property at 1605 Franklin Street has remained vacant for approximately 3 years since Mr. Graff's ownership, during which time it has continued to deteriorate. Testimony from the Director of Public Works indicated that while the steel structure of the building is sound, the facade preservation and building reconstruction is a highly technical process that requires engineering precision, contracts, and scheduling. In her professional opinion, demolition remains the safer and more practical course of action at this time. The respondent, Mr. Graff, has requested a 100-day extension to secure the building, preserve the facade, and begin reconstruction. However, the board notes that no written project plans, contracts, financing documentation, or permit applications have been submitted to date. The board is obligated to protect the safety and welfare of Michigan City residents while also considering the opportunities for responsible investment and preservation. Once again, revitalization and preservation of our historic structures are goals we all share. I have a motion that I would like to do, but maybe there's other comments that would.
Those are great comments.
Huh?
Those are great comments. What's anything else from the other thoughts? I have similar thoughts. I really don't want to to see a building come down. I don't like seeing, especially a building like this. It's going to be very hard to build a building back like this. Unfortunately, you know, you have zoning code, you have all these regulations. It's just hard to build back the urban form once you've demolished it. It becomes very costly and burdensome. So we don't take these lightly, you know, especially me, because I love old buildings. I do know that sometimes they have to come down, but what really would be a loss is really the form that building brings to that block face. Even though it's falling down and may look bad, it has a prominent face, and it stands up next to the sidewalk, and it makes it feel comfortable to walk beside, even though it may be boarded up. A parking lot there would not feel very good to walk beside, especially at night or things like that. So I'll just make that statement. Other statements, Ms. Tisdale, go ahead.
Along that same line, am I happy that this building has sat vacant for 3 years? Absolutely not. Am I upset that we've gotten to this point? Absolutely. Do I want to diminish what code enforcement has done? Absolutely not. Because again, in order to get to demolitions, there are many, many, many steps that need to be followed. So I don't feel like completely dismissing this is smart on our end. However, Mr. Graff has invested in Michigan City. He's purchased the building next to it. He's started a foundation. He's made some improvements to this property. So I would like to see some sort of balance between his vision, what we can do, and public safety. Because again, we literally just had a building collapse in Michigan City that we were trying, because of the historical accuracy of it, trying to give these property owners grace. And again, it collapsed. We ended up having to demolish that.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to diminish Mr. Graff's investment into Michigan City, but I also don't want to diminish our public safety requirements.
Agreed.
So the building was a wreck well before he purchased it. So, I mean, I think
Yes.
this conversation was probably long overdue. And my position is the same as it was at the last meeting, is that I just want to know what 100 days looks like, what safety, what secure looks like
Yeah.
in 100 days. That was my question then, and that's my question now. Obviously, we want development, and we want people to, maintain our historical things. And I agree wholeheartedly that we have to support our code enforcement. And I think, I'm gonna just say it out loud, I feel like our current code enforcement manager was set up, for lack of a better word, having to present that information for that demo the way you did, being new into the situation. And I think that there were previous opportunities for it to come before it got to you, for you to bring it here. But that's where we are. And again, I just need to know what 100 days of safety look like. We can say the homeless broke in, or it could have been the kid next door. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we need to make it safe so nobody can get in, or so no one can get hurt. And that's kind of what I need to see.
Mr. Simmons, you're the only one who hasn't had a comment. I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Yes, it's very unfortunate that we're at this point in time. And I understand the latest comment about all 60 buildings, but today we're dealing with this building. Code enforcement, they're working on cleaning up all the buildings, but today we're talking about this deal. Thing that sticks in my head is Mr. Graff have had this building for 3 years, and that's all the progress we've seen in 3 years. And there's been a lack of communication between code enforcement and Mr. Graff. I'm not going to say who's at fault, because I don't know. My comment on the last hearing was it went back and forth between the two. And I had a question for code enforcement. Is there a report when you go out and just tag a building? Do you go back to the office and do a report as to what took place between you and the owner. It's just unfortunate we have to be at this point today. And 100 days,
Was set on fire.
At least 3 months.
100 days is 3 months, right?
Gift to him.
And the way the billing and my observation of the billing, I would feel a lot more at ease if the building was fenced in.
Agreed.
Traffic, this is a small alley. I mean, you can barely go down that alley. I drive an SUV and I was just creeping down the alley and looking up at the structure. If we had any intent of moving forward and allowing him to do this 100 days, I would feel a lot safer with this being fenced in. This isn't the first time we've done that, because we just experienced it with a church, and lo and behold, it did cave in finally.
Yeah.
So and I trust in the city team and their comments. So hopefully we won't see this in the future as far as being up here after 3 years dealing with an owner of a building. That's just unacceptable.
Miss Moore, did you have something you would like to say? You present the motion. Absolutely. Yeah, flip on your mic. Let's hear the proposal.
I make a motion as follows. The current demolition order shall remain in effect and is scheduled to proceed within 15 days. Demolition may be delayed for up to 100 days if, within the initial 15-day window, the property owner provides the following to the satisfaction of Code Enforcement and Public Works Department: a written detailed project plan outlining the scope of work, including immediate securement of building, facade stabilization, interior reconstruction steps, and milestones within the requested 100-day period. Proof of financing to demonstrate that sufficient funds are currently secured to begin and sustain the project through the facade reconstruction and building stabilization phase. Executed contracts with qualified contractors, engineers, including a schedule of work to be performed, evidence that required building permits have been filed or approved, showing that you are taking the immediate steps and tangible steps that you have filed for them. If these conditions are not met within 15 days, the demolition order will proceed as scheduled. If these conditions are met, the board grants a temporary 100-day delay of demolition with the expectation that progress reports will be submitted every 30 days. This would not be considered an indefinite delay. Failure to maintain progress will result in reinstatement of demolition without further hearing.
Can I just clarify that
Yep.
just a little bit? So you'd be making a motion to affirm the demolition order, but stay the order for 100 days, subject to the conditions set forth,
Correct.
and then reschedule it for another hearing so that both parties can come before and present further evidence as to whether or not, no, is that not right?
At the end of the 100 days, or I think I'm sorry, Miss
Say that
Moore, I don't
again.
want to say it one more time.
I indicated that we would get progress reports submitted every 30 days during that 100 days to make sure that everything is staying on track according to what has been submitted to our code enforcement.
So there wouldn't be another hearing. It's just at the end of the 100 days, if the project, in 15 days, they would have to submit a plan.
Correct.
Or
After,
the demolition would remain in order?
yes,
Is that what you're saying?
That was what I was suggesting.
yes.
Because they've had some time already to present and gather information and steps taken, necessary steps that they would like to take to preserve this building.
Yeah.
So that, some of that work's already been done. We just don't see it. We don't have any written communication, any outline, anything showcasing what the plans are. And it's hard to rule on something when you don't have anything in black and white in
Agreed.
front of you.
So
We're I'm suggesting that we want to work with Mr. Graff, but he also has to work with us and give us the required documentation that needs to be approved by code enforcement and planning department.
so 15 days to get that done. That's a benchmark.
Yes.
One. Then after that, you've got 100 days extension. That's the second that's a benchmark, but then you want 30-day timeframes in between that they check in to make sure that work's being accomplished in in that work plan, essentially.
And if that does not happen, then
Then
they
demo.
just can proceed with demolition if
Yeah.
nothing's being done. But if there is, then we can come back and
Would we need to come
Yeah.
back? I guess that's ultimately my question.
Feel like they should.
Yes.
So at the end of the 100 days, if nothing's happening, would that just be Mr. Briscoe coming back to us and saying nothing has been accomplished, this hasn't been accomplished, or he needs 5 more days to do this, he's accomplished all these pieces? Does that make sense what I'm getting at?
Mhm.
Attorney LePage,
But
would
it
that be?
Would have to be, you would affirm the demo, but you're staying it subject to these conditions being met and further hearing set on this day, whatever that day that's going to be.
Do we need to set the hearing now?
I would.
So what's 100 days? Well, 100, are we saying, is the 15 days included in the 100 days, Ms. Moore? Okay, so it's 115 days. So what's 115 days for now?
Second-ish meeting in November.
So probably January. Gotta be January.
Oh, yeah, September, October, November, December.
So second meeting in January or first meeting in January? First meeting?
First.
Okay, Ms. Moore, would you like to officially make this, like add that into the motion?
And what would be the first meeting in January?
Yeah.
We have that date. So we can just put that on the record
January 5th.
at 8:30. Okay.
Ma- It's a modification is what we're affirming and modifying, essentially. We're staying. So we're doing both. To some extent, I have a question too. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question.
So if he meets the benchmark, 100 days, is the demolition going away or are we coming back to make it go away?
It would have to come back from Mr. Briscoe to say he's accomplished everything. Unless Mr. Briscoe says he needs 5 more days to do this, and then he could come to the board and appeal to the board basically to ask us if we give 5, 10 more days, whatever he feels that would be needed to accomplish the one item that's left or something
I
like
feel like
that.
this is very similar to the property we did on 11th Street, except they provided very detailed, at this point, I'm going to have this done. At this point, I'm
Yes.
going to have this done. They came back and then
Can we
code
ask Mr.
enforcement.
Graff, is that something he can do? You think he can do?
Yes, I would like to ask Mr. Graff that as well, but I'm going to let you ask Mr. Graff that.
Yeah, Mr. Graff, can you
Mr.
hear me?
Mr. Graff, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
My
Yes, I
question to, can you hear what we're discussing as far as our motions?
Yes, I can.
Do you think the 100 days, 115 days, 15 days, you could get the plan to us in 100 days, have that executed? Does that sound like something that's reasonable to you?
Well, 15 days, certainly I can get a more detailed plan. I have 2 concerns. All right. First off, the way that you've set this up, you're backing us into what could be an early snowfall, and then I need more than 100 days. Right. And so that's one thing. We've got a delay now from middle of August, which we had containers lined up and all kinds of things ready to go. And now I've got to keep people on staff for another 15 days. It's not like you can just snap your fingers and the team is ready to go, right? We've got a plan for it. They can't be put on another job, you know, and so on. Then I got to get the permits. And again, my trust level is extremely low right now because we've had a permit application in since March. And it's not even a permit application. It was an extension of a permit that we moved 8 containers of stuff out from the year before. So you know, without guarantees that, you know, they're going to wave their hand and I'm not going to get caught with, oh, you didn't submit it, you know, on the right template or this NIT or that NIT, and I'm delayed for another 7 days because their workload is backed up. You know, you could back us up to a point where I've got these guys climbing through this building in the winter and it's not safe. And I'm not going to put them in that position. So that's one thing to consider. And then the second thing is if you leave it open to their judgment on these plans, and I haven't done, you know, every little thing that they're looking for on the plan or so on, you could put me in a position where I spend an awful lot of money to clean this building out, stabilize it, and then they wave their hand anyway and say, no, it needs to be demolished after it would cost me a lot less money just to demolish it and put it into a parking lot. And there's zero risk for me in that. There's zero liability. Yeah, I hope I articulated that in our last call. You know, what I'm doing here requires more financing. It requires, what I'm suggesting to do is a lot of work, and it's not easy work. And so, you know, if I do all that work and then you wave your hand and say, well, we're going to demolish it anyway. I just don't have a high level of trust right now. So I would defer to almost demolishing it and being out of this morass, you know, completely.
So, okay. So the question is really a yes or no. Is 15 days
Yes, I can get
enough time to get a plan together?
Yes.
And work with our Director of Public Works and our Mr. DeMarcus Briscoe, Code Enforcement Manager. But may I ask Ms. Bechet a question? Because I know you're busy. You're busy. Miss,
good morning.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Wendy Vacher, Public Works Director.
Ms. Vacher, do you think that within 15 days you could work with Mr. Briscoe and come up with a benchmarked plan that can give Werner some assurance? If you hit these benchmarks, we will continue to work with you, if you will. Do you feel confident in that?
Absolutely. That's the reason we're here.
Absolutely.
The entire team sat down with Mr. Graff and discussed this at length, which is the reason the plan was presented to you into the first place.
Correct.
Be happy to hone the plan, happy to bake in the time for the permits. The permits aren't the issue. It's the plan. Be happy to dedicate the time it takes.
Okay. I just feel confident. You know, I know that you met with Mr. Graff, and I know that we were supposed to have some things ahead of time when we didn't, but it sounds like Mr. Graff is saying he can get this done in 15 days. I like the motion, and I appreciate it. Ms. Moore obviously put a lot of thought into this. So any other questions of Ms. Vacher while we have her up here?
Do you support the motion?
I do, and I'd like to thank you. It's very thoughtful, and I hope Mr. Graff appreciates it as well. This entire board and staff is working very hard to try to bring the city up to code while we do look at interesting buildings in our historic and our processes. So we've come more than halfway. Your motion, I think, is respectful of all of us, and so I support it 100%.
I agree with that. Any other questions of Director Vacher while we have her up here? She has been working with Mr. Graff, and she has met with Mr. Graff, and so that's why I wanted to ask her these questions, just to make sure that I'm not out in left field here. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Do we need to reiterate this motion and change it, or can we just second it and make a vote?
As long as everybody understands it.
Let's understand this motion, what you're doing.
So again, you're affirming the order to demolish, but you're staying the effectiveness of it subject to the plans being submitted as discussed, and this matter coming back in front of this board at the first meeting, January 5th of 2026 at 8:30 a.m. to further assess if the demo goes forward or gets set aside. Is that accurate?
I think that's pretty accurate. I guess the other comment would be if it doesn't hit 15 days and we don't get this plan in and there's nothing submitted, then I guess we're back to the board within 20 days in 2 months or a month and a half. Or
My
less.
first comment was the current demolition order shall remain in effect and is scheduled to proceed within 15 days. Demolition may be delayed up to 100 days, as Mr. Graff requested, if within the initial 15-day window, the property owner provides the following to the satisfaction of code enforcement and public works. A written detailed project plan outlining the scope of work, including facade stabilization, interior reconstruction steps and milestones, proof of financing to demonstrate the sufficient funds are currently secured to begin and sustain the project through the facade reconstruction and building stabilization phase, executed contacts with qualified contracts engineers, including a schedule of work to be performed, evidence that required building permits have been filed or approved, showing that you are or have taken immediate and tangible steps. If the conditions are not met to the satisfaction within 15 days, the demolition order would proceed as schedules. However, if the conditions are met, the board grants a temporary 100-day delay of demolition with the expectation that progress reports will be submitted every 30 days. This would not be considered an indefinite delay. Failure to maintain progress will result in reinstatement of demolition, and I can amend that at January 2nd hearing.
So I want to be really clear though, because to me, if I was Mr. Graff hearing this, I might be concerned at day 30 that the demo could happen.
Yeah.
So I wanted, that's why I kept saying we're staying the order subject to the next hearing.
And that
I
next,
feel like I'm very comfortable with that.
But making sure that all those milestones are being met.
yeah. So we need a plan in 15. I'm looking at Miss Novak, because I think you're probably taking notes for Mr. Graff.
HRA.
We need a plan in 15 to 15 days, right? With setting out those benchmarks, if you will. What are you going to accomplish in this 30-day period, 30-day period, 30-day period?
I'm not working with him. I'm hearing what Mr. Graff is saying over your system. So
Sure.
you'll want to ask him again directly.
Okay,
I've just served on an HRA county board for many years, and I am familiar with code violations and these kind of decisions that you're weighing. So that's a very long motion. It's something that I hope all of you have written in front of you to kind of dissect and really weigh in the feedback from your director and from your codes person, because to me, I'm sitting here trying to register it all. And I'm thinking that's a hell of a list to achieve in 15 days. It's very, it doesn't seem realistic to me. And then you like I said, you weigh over this thing, like we're going to demolish, hand it over. And it's just, I'm sorry. I mean, he has the public support. That's all I have to say. To your point, he's a very active person in the community. And I think the public wants this building to see its full potential under its safety requirements. So thank you. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I asked the question, so you're fine. No. Ms. Vacher, can I ask you another question? Is 15 days enough, to get together this plan? This is a big building. Is it enough to get this thing together?
Yes, I have been in engineering, construction, design for 30 years. This is absolutely doable. We are not asking for perfection. We are asking for details and commitments. Anyone who has owned this building for 3 years and has this plan probably has most of this already in their mind and in their plan, as I spoke with Mr. Graff at length about. So yes, I think this is doable.
Thank you very much. All righty. So within 15 days, we will have a plan to execute with benchmarks in it. What other clarification do we need, Ms. LePage? Are we? I will make a second. I will say second to that motion, and I do understand the motion. I second the motion. I would also add, nothing precludes Mr. Graff from coming in and saying, "I will just demo the building." He still has the option. So, I'll call for the vote. Do we all understand the motion? We know what we're doing. All right, let's state the motion one more time.
I would say, can we get like a Cliff Notes version of it for clarity?
I'll
Super clear clarity.
modify, I'll take some of the things out, because I think the number one is the, important part. The demolition order shall remain in effect. Is that the correct way to
So
state that?
you would be affirming the order to demo.
We affirm the order to demo, and it would proceed within 15 days unless, except that the demolition could be delayed for up to 100 days if the property owner provides the following to the satisfaction of code enforcement and public works: a written detailed project plan outlining the scope of work, including facade stabilization, interior reconstruction steps, and milestones were requested within the 100-day period. If that is met at that time and progress reports are given within 30 days during that 100-day period, if those progress reports are met, then we would reconsider the demolition at a January 2nd hearing. Is that?
It's, yeah,
it up?
it's still too much. What I would recommend, trying to
Okay.
hear what you're saying,
Okay.
because I have to reduce this to a written form that could potentially be appealed to a court. So a court's got to understand it too. You would be affirming the order to demo, but again, you would be staying that subject to the conditions of the 15-day plan being submitted. The 30, what was the 30 days?
It's 110 days that he requested, and every 30 days during that 110 days, they would progress
A
report.
progress report being submitted every 30 days.
Right.
And the matter appearing back before this board on January 5th, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. for further consideration.
That's what I said.
Okay.
May I make one request?
No, not at this time. We just want to consider this. Okay. Does everyone understand this motion? Okay. Do you want? Okay. Do I hear a second to this motion?
Support.
All right. I'm going to call for the vote then. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Or is there any discussion? I'm sorry.
Say, do we need to, because Ms. LePage technically made that motion, so do we need to restate that motion in such terms? I just want
You
to make
could
sure we
make a
get this right.
motion, yes.
Okay.
As I articulated,
Okay.
to accept as I articulated.
Okay. Do I need to have a second for that one? Okay. Okay.
I make a motion to accept the motion as Ms. LePage articulated.
Perfect.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Support.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Okay, I'm going to call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Nay.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Do we understand? Hopefully we understand what we put in motion.
Just let me
Yes,
project
please.
that two things. One, I'm going to be reducing this to a written finding. I will be presenting it to the board at your next meeting so that it'll all be in writing in front of you to formally vote upon to make it your final order. Okay. So there's still going to be some time. And then the second thing that I just need is under the statute at any point in time, even though you issued your order, it can always go back to code enforcement to relinquish a demo order at any time.
Yes.
So keep that in mind as well. So those are my two things.
So technically, if he meets everything that he was supposed to do, he could be released. Say he meets it in 50 days.
Correct. So at
Okay.
any
Just want to
point,
be clear about that.
the planning department can set aside a demo order regardless of what this, under the statute.
Yes. Okay. Any other comments on this from the board? Any other discussion? We all know what we did? Okay.
Just holy moly.
Yeah.
That was a lot, but I really, really hope, I feel like we're in a good place between code enforcement, planning, and Mr. Graff that we can all work together, get this building secured and move this forward in a positive manner for the city of Michigan City.
I agree with that statement. Okay, I'm going to open up for public comments. Any public comments on this? Any public comments on anything? It's not just this, public comments in general.
Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. You know, I appreciate what you guys are going through with this. I don't understand the immediacy of wanting to tear down this structurally sound building. We referenced a building that did fall down. That had a bulging, failing wall for over 10 years. And we all saw it happening. This building is standing straight and strong. It has a steel frame and brick walls that are self-supporting. Now, you've given them very tight time limits. I challenge any of you to go to a bank and get a funding commitment for, say, a line of credit on your house, a HELOC, in 2 weeks. It's not possible. I think these 15-day policies, I'll beg to differ with the planning director. I think 15 days is a very difficult timeline. I think 30 would have been far more reasonable to get engineering reports, financial plans, and so forth. Our code enforcement, as Mr. Graff pointed out, is in a bind. We have way too many rules. We require way too many permits that other places do not require. We impose a municipal ordinance that I don't believe stands anywhere else. That even if you are a property owner, unless it's your primary residence, you're not allowed to do work on it yourself. That doesn't exist anywhere else. So we have a department that's gone through transitions. We're transitioning to electronic permitting. And it's been a transition of problems from what I've heard from contractors. So we're making extra work for our own department. I don't think, as Mr. Graff said, we need permits for basic things. I really don't. Residential construction is not rocket science. Why do I need a permit to put vinyl siding, re-side my house? Why do I need a permit to have Arnett or another contractor put windows in my house? Why do I need a permit if I go to Home Depot and use their vendor to put in an HVAC system? Why do I need a permit to replace existing things? We're putting extra work on this department to approve things and to inspect things. I talked to a roofer. He literally got a roofing permit in LaPorte in less than 5 minutes. In and out, 5 minutes. Here, you're going to struggle just to log into the new system because you have to create a user account before you can apply for a permit. You're going to struggle with that. Then the roofer needs to coordinate with his crew, the homeowner, and our inspection department on the day of work so they can inspect it while the work is taking place. And if for some reason you can't get a schedule for the inspector to come, you can't do the work. We are really creating a lot of hindrances in this city that this developer expressed. And we've heard this from other developers. Why do we make it so hard for people when we've got 62 vacant buildings in a small area? This man, you gave him a 15-day thing. Will he get a permit to do anything in 15 days? He's not allowed to do anything. He is red tagged to, you've tied his feet. And you're doing this to a lot of people in this city. So I know there's people of goodwill and we care about public safety and we want to improve it, but we put so many barriers in front of people. The board up, people complain that somebody broke into his building. Well, there's standards to board up companies. If they nail or screw down plywood, it's considered secured. Bad actors can rip that off the wall or the doorway. That's not the owner's fault. We've got to stop blaming him for things. So some of this I find kind of specious reasoning. We seem like in a real hurry to tear down this somewhat prominent building on a prominent block where we've had other decaying buildings for decades being ignored. What is the heat on this one? The walls aren't bulging. It is properly secured. And the guy wants to do work on it. Why aren't we letting him work on it? Because even now, you're not letting him. He still has to get approvals. How long is that going to take? How does that affect these timelines? It's a real problem in the city that's been bothering me for a long time, and it bothers a lot of people, and it's something this board and that department need to think about. I respect everybody that works for the city, and I respect the work they do. but they're making it harder for themselves and for the people, in my opinion, unnecessarily, and we should fix that. Thank you.
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy Kulavic, 1316 Ohio Street. For the love of God, no more carnivals in the city, please. No more Queens Fest, no more Marquette Mall, no more Blue Chip, no more North Lotta Lighthouse Mall. June, they had the Mary's St. Lake, they had their carnival in June. They have Nativity Fest over in Portage. They had the LaPorte County Fair, the Porter County Fair, Lake County Fair, St. Joseph County Fair, Berrien County Fair. We got Great America, we got Indiana Beach, we got Cedar Point, you can all take them to. It's just not, I think it was really bad business about telling, you gotta have 5 teenagers come, they gotta take one of their parents to the fair, the carnival with them. I mean, no, they made a good choice pulling out a Saturday afternoon. Just don't let them come here anymore, thank you.
Perfect. Any other public comments?
Nancy Cross, 501 Pearl Street. I was here last month or in July, to talk about the situation in front of Elston School with the parking. So this morning and recent days, I have been there since school started. They can't walk on the sidewalk. The cars are still parked on the sidewalk more than the foot. And now they're parked on both sides of the street this morning. It was a basically wait and go kind of situation with the people coming from Franklin. And I guess I want to know, where their tickets written? Why aren't there tickets written for these things? And that's my issue. And I also agree, please don't knock down that building. Do anything you can. Midtown needs a little bit of finesse. We are looking a little ragged. And it's nice to walk from my opportunity where I live to Franklin Street. There's nothing really there anymore. There's a couple now. They're starting out. But you're not going to allow those new businesses to thrive with the degradation of the rest of the community. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cross. Any other public comments? Anything online? Any public comments online? Any other public comments out in the audience? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any board comments? Anything for the greater good, or do I hear a motion to adjourn? Oh, Ms. Moore, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I do agree with Scott in a lot of things that you have said, and I do. And I have heard also things that it makes it very difficult to do. And I don't know what the answer is. That's not my department. I have no idea how to make it easier, but there are things out there, comments made. And regarding your comment about the vehicles and have any tickets been issued, I think Captain Jesse could probably address that specifically. I don't know, but that would be something maybe we can refer to him for follow-up.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a report back at our next meeting from engineer, everyone. Yeah, about what's going on there. Any other comments from the board? That was a lot today. So thank you all for staying checking in and stay checked in. I really appreciate it. And Ms. Moore, I really appreciate your thoughtfulness with your motion.
I was going to say, I really feel like the board did its due diligence with this order to try and respect all parties involved. So, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. All right, let's go.